good, y'all, and welcome to my review for A Haunting in Venice, the latest installment in the, I don't know, Hercule Poirot series, whatever the fuck. I literally looked this up, on Google to see if this series had like an official like name to it, just so I knew what to call it because I wanted to start ranking the movies on Letterboxd. Now we got three of them. It's like, all right, let me go rank them on Letterboxd. So I looked and I looked. I could not find a name, just a straight up name for all like this series went under. Like like it's not called just like the Game of Thrones series or like the East Railroad 117, trilogy or something like that, bro. This series seems to have no direct name that's like an umbrella term for all of them. I guess they're just all their own individual books, which was a little annoying because I kind of had to guess on what the hell to call my ranking on my Letterboxd, which by the time this video is out, it should already, you guys can check out my Letterboxd for, what my ranking is, although I'm sure when you guys see my final verdict, you guys will already know what my ranking, how I will rank these films. But regardless of such, man, you guys know I love these movies, man. I pretty much reviewed all of them that come out so far. I did I did Murder on the Oriental Express, getting them confused with like Split. Murder on the Oriental Express, I of course reviewed also what was Death on the Nile with Gal Gadot as well, and of course this one, man. Now you guys know I didn't catch this one in theaters. Unfortunately, I obviously wanted to catch this one in theaters, but didn't get the chance to. But finally was able to watch the film today as it was on Hulu. Which, first of all, I think this movie came out or dropped on Hulu in either October or November or somewhere in that time. I think it was October, but I don't remember for certain when this movie dropped. But if I knew this movie was such a horror movie in its own way, very much had a lot of horror like themes and in like a horror stick to it, I would have watched this movie in October, and got it and watched it while I was marathon through all the horror movies I was watching. Man, I would have like made sure to sneak in to make sure I made room for it there, man. But I ended up waiting until like freaking December to finally watch this movie. But yeah, man, you guys know I love these movies, man. I love me some murder mysteries, man. We don't get these movies that often, really. So it's always good whenever we get a new one, man. And like I said, I don't know, how much more, like, there's like a long-running book series that the series is based off, so there's obviously plenty of material left for them to adapt into film, but like, I don't know, we're gonna get another one, man. As always, I hope, I always treat these movies like they're all looking at me at the last one, man, because I don't know, what the deal with this one is, if these already planned, if Kenneth Broadwin, has already like planned down, and he knows he's gonna be adapting all of the books for, into films, or like, it's kind of like, let's see how this one performs, then let's see the next one perform to go from there, man. I don't know what the wheelings and dealings for this franchise is for like adapting them into films and whatnot. So I always treat these movies like they're all gonna be like the last one, But every time when I see a trailer that the new one's coming out, I'm like, awesome, we got another one coming out, man. Because these movies are awesome, man. And this one was a blessed one, man. And like I will just say this right now, out of the trilogy so far, this one is my personal favorite of the three. You guys know I love Death on the Nile as well, but I think I would give this one the slight edge over Death on the Nile in my personal opinion. But anyway, I have rambled on long enough, man. Let's just jump right. So the movie is, of course, starring and directing Kenneth Broadwin, who you guys also know directed the first Thornwind, of course, like I mentioned before, stars Kenneth Broadwin, and as well as Kelly Riley, Tina Fey, Michelle Yeoh, Kyle Allen, and many more. And the plot of Haunting in Venice is now retiring, living in self-imposed exile in the world's most glamorous city. Jesus Christ, I can't fucking speak today. Poirot reluctantly attends a seance at a decaying haunted Palazzo, if I'm pronouncing that right. I'm not Italian. He soon gets thrust into a sinister world of shadow secrets when one of the guests is murdered. So, first of all, I know the cast overall was great, man. Michelle Yeoh and Kenneth Broadwin are obviously the highlights of the movie, man. Michelle Yeoh, man, she's amazing. She plays the medium, the psychic of the film, man, and she's amazing, man. Like she was also my favorite character in the movie, besides, of course, Kenneth Broadwin as Poirot, the detective, man, and of course his iconic mustache, man. Like seriously, bro. That mustache, bro. I cannot get over how good that mustache. I genuinely want to know, does Kenneth grow that thing naturally, man? Is that all him, or is that all just like prosthetic? I feel like it has to be prosthetic because it looks too perfect. You know what I mean, man? It looks too perfect for him to grow that naturally, and I'm sure, I don't know if it is prosthetic or he does grow that thing naturally, man. If he is, Godspeed to him, man, and of course whoever his hairdresser is, to make sure it's pristine. But I'm pretty sure it's probably like a prosthetic mustache he wears while they're filming the movie. But either way, man, that mustache is iconic, man. He was amazing. But Michelle Yeoh was up the highlight movie for me, man. I loved her. Honestly, wish she got a little bit more screen time than she did, man. But she was amazing, man. She was definitely the highlight cast. Other than the rest of the cast members were great in their own right, man. Another thing I gotta say, I also gotta love is the directing. Kenneth Broadwin's directing is just sublime in this movie, man. Like I I'm pretty sure I did compliment and mention how good his directing was in Death on the Nile when that came out last year. But like his directing in this movie is just incredible, man. Like so many amazing, so many amazing shots. You of course got his patented Dutch angles he likes to use, which he used all the time in the first Thor movie, man. But amazing camera work, man. Just great lighting, just everything. This movie just looked sublime, man. The lighting was well done, the directing, the cinematography was just great, man. This was just a well-looking movie, man. Just a well-shot and good-looking movie, man. If you ask me, in my personal opinion, the movie just looked great. The music I thought was great as well, which there's no surprise because I'm pretty sure this movie was composed by the same composer who did the Joker soundtrack, which you guys know I love that soundtrack as well. Praise that when I did my review of that film many years ago. But definitely one of the big things, that kind of the one thing that I love the most with, and that definitely put that, and this is definitely the main reason why I would put this over Death in the Nile, is the horror atmosphere and the horror aesthetic that the movie uses, man. It works the movie's benefit greatly, man. It looks so good, man. Like, you guys know me, I'm a big horror guy, like you guys know, so that's obviously a bit biased on my part, but the movie just looked amazing. I just love all the horror-esque elements that they used for the film, man. And just, with the way it was shot, everything, the lighting, of course the haunted, house, the haunted, like, house itself, man, or apartment, or whatever the fuck this building is called, just everything about that of the horror stuff they used just looked great, man. The whole supernatural thing was great. The seance scene itself was amazing, bro. Beautifully directed, great, amazingly acted. Of course, the editing for it was great as well. And I also, one thing I loved how theatrical this movie gets at points. Like the kills, all of the kills in the movie when we get to like the actual murders themselves are very theatrical, man. Especially like the main one that died, that kind of sets the whole movie into motion. Sets the whole movie for Piero to get into detective mode and figure out, okay, who murdered one of the guests, figure out, like, that person's death is very theatrical in the way they died and how they died, man. It was honestly kind of nice, man, like I said, I love these murder mysteries, especially these older ones that kind of take place in like the 40s and the 50s and that kind of area, man. Like, it's just so theatrical, man. Like I said, it feels like it's part of a bygone era, because like I said, we don't really get these kind of movies anymore, so it's always good when we do get them, and like I said, I hope we get more of these, man, because it's really just like him and like Ryan Johnson with the Knives Out movies are like really the only two major series I can think of, at least in movies, that are still making these like whodunits, And as always, guys, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my review of Death on the Nile. But if you guys know of any great, whodunit murder mystery films, like please leave down in the comments, because I love these type of movies, man. I'm always down to watch more of them. Like I know Clue is like a big one based off the board game, man, because that's one I definitely want to watch just to see its multiple endings, everything, man. But if you guys know any other ones, whether they're like American, British, fucking Italian, bro, I don't care. Leave it down below in the comments, because I love watching these kind of movies, man. And I'm always down to watch more. But yeah, the seance scene was amazing. Like I said, it was very theatrical. Like, instead of Michelle using like a Ouija board, she uses a typewriter instead to help communicate with the dead, and it's done, and it's very well done. And like the editing for that whole sequence, man, was perfect, and like it was shot amazingly as well. Just Kenneth Branagh, man, like he's obviously an amazing actor in his own right, man. He's done a lot of amazing movies. Of course, he's great in these movies as well. But like, he's a very good director in his own right, man. He is a very good director in his own right, man. And like I said, hopefully he gets to make more of these movies, because I love these movies so much. So hopefully we get some more of these in the future. One thing you guys may remember in my review of Death in the Nile that I mentioned there was I thought the movie was kind of slow to at the beginning of it. It was kind of slow, and I was just kind of waiting for like the murder mystery to actually begin, and I was kind of disinterested and just kind of like, okay, when's the murder mystery going to happen, man? That wasn't really the case with this movie, man. I thought I was very much engaged from start to finish, man. Like, straight up in this movie, Piero has like a bodyguard, which I don't think he had a bodyguard in the first two movies. Could be wrong on that one, but I don't think he did. And like, you have a bunch of people lined up by like his house, trying to like get it to obviously, ask for his services and trying to get their like murder trials and everything. So to figure out like what's going on them, like that like all their family members got murdered or whatnot, and this one guy tries to go after him, and his bodyguard gives him the most devastating clothesline from hell I've ever seen. Like, this man was trying to turn him inside out, doing like 3 backflips, bro. Like, he hit him with a clothesline from hell with a capital H. You know, it was, like I said, the most devastating clothesline from hell I have ever seen, man. It looked nasty. It looked absolutely nasty, man. That was a great scene as well. But yeah, like I said, the movie I thought was a lot more engaging at the beginning part when we lead into the actual murder mystery itself. I found, like I said, a lot of it is because the whole horror, you know, aesthetic the movie uses and goes with throughout the entire film, man, which you guys know I'm a big horror guy, so that definitely helps. But I just thought the movie was just a lot more, the opening or the lead up to the actual murder was just a lot more, I guess, you know, well written, I guess, or a bit more engaging for me, that I was enjoying the movie. And I was kind of like, okay, when can we get to the murder? Come on, let's get to the murder already. You know, which I kind of had when I watched Death in the Nile. But yeah, man, I thought the opening was great. So now in terms of like, and of course, you know, the actual like reveal itself is amazing as always, man. Also, another thing I mentioned, like this movie, this is kind of the one thing I love about these kind of movies, man. I love that for the flashbacks that are done in black and white, man. Like I know I'm a broken record because I say this every single goddamn time when I talk about movies and they go and they have any sections in black and white, man. But black and white is a lost art, man. And once again, this movie proves that to me, because those black and white sections looked amazing. We get flashbacks and of course find out what actually happened when the you know, the murderer is finally revealed. Obviously, we'll get into spoilers, but yeah, the whole ending of the movie when the murderer is revealed, man, that whole sequence, as always, man, that sequence is fantastic, man. Now, in terms of flaws in the movie I will say, if there was one thing I thought Death in the Nile did a little bit better than A Haunting in Venice, is I thought the characters in the overall story was a bit better and a bit more engaging. Let me explain. So for characters, man, like I thought the characters overall were great, but I remember being a little bit more invested invested into the characters for Death on the Nile. And I felt that overall I feel like I felt a little bit more engaged while I was watching Death on the Nile once, you know, it finally gets to the actual murder mystery itself and everything, man, compared to when I saw A Death in Venice. Like I feel like I feel like definitely that Death in the Nile had overall better characters and story, but I think A Haunting in Venice kind of gets a slight edge for me is because, of course, all the horror aesthetics and everything they uses, and of course, Kenneth Branagh. I don't know why I keep saying Peter. Kenneth Branagh's just amazing directing, kind of saves it, kind of like carries me over to getting it a little bit better compared to Death in the Nile. If that makes, I don't know if that makes any sense at all, guys, but yeah, I thought Death in the Nile had a little bit better on overall story and characters compared to A Haunting in Venice. But like I said, Haunting in Venice had a better opening and a stronger one that kept me more engaged till we actually get to the murder mystery itself. And of course, the murder mystery itself was amazing in both films. But I thought the overall story of Death in the Nile was a little bit better and a bit more engaging for at least me personally compared to Haunting in Venice. And the horror elements kind of like carry Haunting in Venice to where I prefer the movie overall in comparison to A Death on the Nile. If any of that made any sense at all, but that's just kind of how I feel. But yeah, man, I think that's about all I got for you guys today, man. Like I say always, guys, hopefully we get another one, man. We get more of these movies, man, because I love them and hope to see more. But yeah, man, overall, I'll give this movie a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. As always, hope you guys enjoyed the video. You like it, if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on social if you feel like it. Links on screen down below, and it's always back for more. See you guys next time.